This call is from
Edward Brown,
an inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept. Dial 5 now. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To decline this call, hang up.
Mr. Brown.
good morning.
Good morning. I should have mentioned in my core links that those clips from Ron Paul are about 10 years old. I didn't mean to give you the impression.
Okay.
But we are gonna highlight your case tonight on Resurrect the Republic Radio, and we're gonna do our best to make noise and shine light. If you have anything you want the public to hear, I know it's very short notice, but I could record it and put it out recorded on the program tonight.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
All right. I filed a case within a court on the expatriation process that I'm working on. The information that we've gotten in actually reveals that the government has been conducting a confidence game on the American people for many decades. Actually, since the 1933 confiscation of all the gold. The case that I'm filing right now is just an inquiry at this time. It will be a quiet tam action, a quiet tam case where I represent the Constitution, Common Law Republic, and I'm filing suit for myself and for the United States Republic against the Bar Association, who has been representing the United States of America Corporation and the USA Inc., which is the Vatican version of their control over the United States Corporation Inc. You know what I'm saying? What I'm filing right now is to clear up first, before I do anything, my political status within that corporation by expatriating from the corporation and going back to my state American national status of pre-1861 of the Civil War. Our problem is we assumed too much by allowing these people to do what they do and thinking that the courts were honest, legit, and that our government was still our government, when in fact it is not. We absolutely do not have a lawful standing government in Washington, D.C., any corporate state of the Union, any city, town, county, or village within those states. Every corporation is all part of a...
This call is from a federal prison.
Coup d'etat, slow one, by the bankers, for sure, and of record, by the way, of the Crown Temple out of England, which pretty well controls it all. From what we can determine at this point here, the Crown Temple of the Bar Association, which is the franchisors of the Bar Association worldwide, pretty well represented the International Monetary Fund out of Switzerland, and of course for the World Bank in Basel. If we don't start filing suits now, we don't start expatriating now, we don't start making an uproar now, it's going to be over. I'll tell you right now, people have got to start moving and start paying attention. You yourself, Rudy, have told me that you now have become aware that we are a corporation. This country has become a corporation. It's true. In this country, these people in Washington, D.C. are going to say, well, you can't sue us because we have sovereign immunity. Well, I don't want to break their bubbles, but sovereign immunity is only for the government. They are not a lawful government. They are de facto. In fact, they are in there as a government, but they are a corporation for real. And the United States of America that sues us in court, the people who are the investors on that particular corporation, which are filed out of California, are the employees of the government, are paying and contributing into. All the agencies and stuff are the ones who provide the monies for that corporation. The USA Incorporated is the one from the Vatican. These people are all working together, hitting us from different sides at the same time to keep us off our feet. They're everywhere. And I don't want to break anybody's heart, but the Jesuits are up to their neck, and actually they're almost over their head in this. They control so much of this country in the Western world, it makes you sick. So, by going for the Bar Association, we're going to ask questions. We're not here to destroy, to injure, or embarrass anybody, not even the Jesuit. We're here to say, hey, guys, you're breaking the law. You've had your way. You've had your time and day. You've made lots of money, many millions and billions of dollars. It's time to stop. You've been murdering people, poisoning their food, poisoning their air, poisoning their land. We can't keep this up. So, as a non-citizen, a citizen is a subject slave. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. A sovereign is king. A subject and citizen is a slave. You can't be, it's axiomatic. Sovereign citizen? We made a lot of mistakes because we were ignorant and we're confused, but we're not losing. We're not anymore. So now we know what's going on, what to do, and how to do it. The only problem that we don't have is we don't have the support out in the world. I don't. I'm sure we have some, which is nice and wonderful. We certainly appreciate it, but now is the time to move forward, and we don't see anybody out in the world hardly at all that's doing what needs to be done. Talk isn't going to get it done. You got to get in their faces with the law, with their law, our law, and get rid of all the old law like UCC. That's bogus. You know the courts are what? You walk into the courtroom, you're walking into 3 courts at the same time at every trial. An equity court, which is commercial court, and then if the judge goes out and comes back in again, he's going to come back in giving you an admiralty court. And if that doesn't work, he's going to come back in and give you a Talmudic priesthood court. That's a fact of record, too. We have all of this information and much, much more. This cartel, we are fully aware of who they are now by name. That's why I've been trying to get a hold of the president all this time. The last 2 years since he was president-elect and he got it, we've been trying to contact him, and I've been blocked. Every single piece of mail that goes out, all my emails that try to go out, they either blocked or for some reason or other, things can't be done. Nobody's listening. I am a United States Constitution Ranger, Commander-in-Chief from 1999 to 2003. If anybody has the right and the ability to do this, it is I. But I cannot do it alone. You want somebody that's going to get up there and get in their faces? I'm the one to do that. Congress accepted us again when we re-upped our organization in 1980. When Congressman Eldon Rudd helped us with another congressman out of New Mexico. And Congress accepted it, and we filed it into the Library of Congress under T, capital TX, lowercase u, 42-453. We are the organization. You had mentioned something about American Marshals or something like that, Rudy?
Yes.
What was that? Did you find out about that? What that was?
Can you help me understand the context again? What was the discussion about U.S.?
You said something about something came out of Anna von Reitz's material that there was an organization called the United Marshals or American or National Marshals Association, a group that was out there trying to do something. Something that was created under the common law, I guess. Maybe that wasn't you. I thought it was you. Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it wasn't me.
Somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, but they didn't have any idea what the heck was going on, what to do. We were at the cutting edge of this thing. A lot of you folks that are running, you can have good people here, like the guy that writes these books from IRS stuff. They're good people. They mean well, but they don't have all the information. And if they do have the information, I'm sorry to say that they might not be willing to go out there and stand forward and face off the opposition. That's our job anyway. That isn't their job. That's the Rangers were set up and designed for, to keep an eye on the form of government and report back to Congress from time to time. And if Congress didn't want to accept the Rangers, then we had to go to the people. And the people are being rather silent.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem, Mr. Brown.
Folks like myself are not silent. We can't be silent. We're obligated to get into their faces. That's why they put us in prison. For no law, no crimes, no victim. The only victim was my wife and I, and the other, and Jason Gerhard and Mr. Riley and a couple of the others. Because we're the only ones that suffered. We hurt nobody. They fired over 40 rounds at us one night. We never returned fire. We were gentlemen through.
This call is from a federal prison.
I could have stopped them that night when they arrested us because I was tired. After all those months, I kept my wife when I had enough. So I eased it out, let it happen easily. So we accepted. But I never expected to throw us just flat out into prison and then go silent. Ron Paul needs to get involved again. He's not quite through with his job yet. I don't know who his son is, what his son is doing, what they're doing in Washington right now, but I've got to get to the president. This is a national security issue, no matter what it sounds like, no matter what it looks like. Don't be disenchanted because I don't look the part or even sound the part. I have real information that's solid. I'm not a frivolous man, and I do not have frivolous information. We have top-of-the-heap information, cutting-edge information. We know what's wrong with America, where the sickness lies, who is causing it, how and why they're doing it. And it's time to bring this cartel back down a couple of notches, if not altogether right out of business.
Amen.
And there's no reason why not.
Amen.
Anyway,
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best, Mr. Brown, to give you a voice. I know they've tried to silence you for 10 years. I know there's going to be some people that are going to listen tonight that are not going to be up to speed with your story, and I'm going to advise them to write you a letter in prison to read the saga of Ed and Elaine Brown, which is posted on the website. And also, you've put out several documents that we've posted over the past year or so, and I'm going to recommend they read these documents.
I have a stack of information, of record, of hard evidence. I can't afford to send it out to you. It's just too much. Every time and then even if I send it out like that, half the time it won't even get out there, it won't even reach you.
Yeah. So
I start numbering my mail to see which pieces don't get out and why. That seems to work to some degree. But we have I repeat, all of the hard evidence that's necessary to stop these people. We just got to get it out somehow. The news media is not going to do it. You know that, the major news media that we have right now, and all we've got is our small pockets of good and honest news media, and it's killing us.
Right. That's absolutely right.
So I need help with this case. That's one thing right there. We're getting very close to the end here. I'm very close to getting out, as a matter of fact, just by their own law that they have to allow. I am going under ecclesiastical law. I have left the entire United States corporate laws, statutes, codes. I don't deal with them. My only law is God's law or ecclesiastical law. That's how I approached the courts. And when I did that, every single judge in New Hampshire District Court recused themselves. No court can hear this case. That's a fact. No court, I repeat, can hear this case. Everybody pay attention. Out of nowhere, it came to me in the middle of the night how to do this, and I know how to do it. But I'm stuck here doing it by myself with no support to get out there and do paperwork and stuff that I need to get done when it needs to get done. So it's dragging. I started this thing in March, this case, and so far they're backing away like crazy. They called an emergency, recused everybody, and brought another judge in from out of state, the same judge that put me in the prison for 444 months. Now, I want to go before this judge in particular, but he can't hear the case, and I can't go before a de facto court. No courts in America at this time are lawful in this country. Not a single one of them.
Amen.
Unless you file an Article 7 trial under the Constitution. And they have to hear it. If they don't hear it, they're conducting treason on the spot, and they need to get fired. I need to get a hold of the Provost Marshal from the Coast Guard. All my mail going to him is blocked. I need someone to pick up the telephone and call up the Provost Marshal in D.C. or please call up any Coast Guard station where there's a commander and ask them what's the procedure to get to the Provost Marshal, because it's a national security issue and the commander of the United States Constitution Rangers is attempting to get a hold of him now. Time is wasting. We fear that something very serious is going to get done to a lot of people in this country in the not too distant future. Could be any day, any week, but soon. They're going to have to make a move somehow on a very large scale. So before that happens, we want this cartel exposed to the Coast Guard and the Provost Marshal to do his job and keep an eye on that bar association. They are the minions behind and the operators behind in the courts everywhere. In Washington, D.C. court, the Senate, and so on. We have 1 minute or less. Okay, but Randy, I mean in earnest now. I'm on the move. I can't wait any longer with this court case, and I don't want to fail with this court case, but I need some help with this court case. I cannot do it alone.
Well, Mr.
Thank God for one. Go ahead.
We're running out of time, but Mr. Brown, our prayers are with you. 10 years in prison. I don't believe you should have spent a day in prison. And I'm going to pray that God's going to work a mighty miracle. And I pray that people listen to what you got to say. And I pray that action starts to begin. They painted you as the violent people, but they were the actual ones who were violent. And I pray that you get out of there and that God gets the glory.
Well, you tell everybody right now that I'm one of the major ones, the key players in this whole thing, because I do have the solution. I do have the answers and what they need, and I know who's doing it. And I'm not bashful about bringing out exactly who's doing it by name.
Amen.
It's time to move forward. No more of this stuff.